Welcome to Foutaingate Fellowship Sound Booth. This is just our setup of how we run things. This is a Yamaha LS9 32 channel soundboard. We run on Sunday mornings and for everything that we do here. When you walk in, everything on this countertop should be turned off. Everything except for there's a 5-disc CD changer over here. The Sony CD changer is the only thing that does not run on the power source. All of your wireless receivers here are running. Everything runs off of this rack over here. And so the first thing that you'll do when you walk in on a Sunday morning is you'll take this power right here and you'll flip it on. And that turns everything on. You'll see right here is your crossover and then your two equalizers. These equalizers are actually running the two monitor channels that we still have set up, so in case somebody doesn't want to use their in-ears. And then this crossover right here runs on channel 6. It should be a big 6 and it says user FGF. Right now it is locked, so you cannot change it. But when it is unlocked, you will scroll through the different numbers. You want to make sure that you're selected on the 6, and then you hit this button, the big wheel, you push it in, and that will make sure that you're on user 6. If you're not on user 6, it will sound terrible. That decides what signals go to which amps and to which speakers, and when it is that is the only user that's actually defined for this room. Everything else will completely mess up your sound and it will sound terrible. When you first turn on your board, there is going to be right here, it shows your panel right here, and it is asking you for authorization. This is to get into the administrator level of the board. There's two levels. There's user and there's administrator. The way that we have it set up, you can go and you can run sound on the user level, but you cannot save. There's certain changes that you cannot make. You have to be the administrator. Right now, our password is 777. You go and enter that password. You come down and you hit OK. You select OK, and then you hit enter. It says current user changed to administrator, so now we're ready to go. When you navigate through this board, you're going to do everything going through the buttons. This is not a touch screen. And so you have your arrow keys here your cursor is on here, and your arrow keys will move your cursor around. Whenever you get to where you want to be, you can select enter. If it's a selection key, if it's a dial that you can turn, you will use this dial right here to turn it. One of the main setups that we have here that we're going to show you is if you get to a point to where it doesn't immediately pop up to choose your current user, it is on the setup button. You're going to notice that there are different tabs in the setup system right here. We're focused on the first tab right now. It says user setups. It is the brownish background, and you're going to come over here and select where it says administrator and hit enter, and then this is your guest, your administrator, your whatever. So if you come on and it's on guest and it doesn't give you the option to get into that right off the bat, this is where you're going to want to come. You're going to want to come in and select login for administrator, hit enter, and then put your password in, just so that you're on administrator so that you can control all the functions on here. One of the other basic settings that we have on this thing right here is your scene memories. You can have this board set up to run tons of different things. When I first got here, we had youth services were in here on Wednesday nights, and the youth had their own setting for the soundboard. We've had different drummers with different styles that we have up here on older ones. We have complete different settings for all of our different drummers that we would base off of that. Right now we are running off of the Master 825. You'll need to, whenever you get here to watch this, you'll need to ask them what is the current or basic setting or setup for the scene memory for your Sunday morning worship. So if it is not on that, you would come here and you have two options down here. Once you have it highlighted on the wheel, this blue section right here is you're going to want that to be on the one that you're selecting. You have two options. You can either store or recall. First thing when you get here, when you're doing it, you're going to want to go to recall, and you hit that and you recall, and it'll bring your basic setups across. All of your dials and all of your sliders down here are motorized so that it will push them to where they need to be based on where the last setting was saved. That is how you recall a setting. Once you get done working and you've had a setup and you've made some changes that you want to save, you can come and you can either select this one that you're working on and hit store to update it, or you can come down and pick a blank section if you want to save the old settings on that, but you want to make a new setting. There are 200 and something, more than that, I guess 300 different settings, scene memories on here, different options for that. So there are plenty of scene memories. That is your basic setup. When you come in the mornings and you turn this on, you're going to want to hit your switch. You hit your switch above your crossover that turns it on. You make sure that your crossover is set on setting 6, which is user FGF. You're going to want to come in and put in your password, and just to make sure that you're ready to be into the board and that you're on the administrator level so that you can make changes on the board. And then the other thing you're going to want to do is go to the amp room, which we will show you later how to get that and how to affect that. And you're going to go back to the amp room, and in there you will have 4 amps that you need to turn on. One that controls your subs, one that controls your mains, one that controls your fill-ins, and one that controls your monitors.